coming up in today's video, guys, we have a teenager's wax removal, and this wax is deep and it is a very thick plug. Doesn't look like it here, and that's because they've been using some olive oil just to soften the outer section of the wax here. And we can see as soon as we put this suction tube in, there's not a huge amount of room in there because we are, you know, we're in a teenager's ear canal, so that they've got a little bit more growing to do. But you can see a very, very thick, softer type wax at the entrance, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be a tough one to do if it's this consistency all the way through. But what we start to see in a second, as we get a bit further in, we can start to see it detach from the canal wall a little bit more easily. But we've got a mixture of dry skin and soft wax here at this entrance. You can see the flaps of dry skin coming off on the side, so you're acutely aware of clarinetting at this point, that high-pitched shrill whistle you get if there's basically a little bit of skin that flaps around in the end of the suction.
There's a lot in there, there's a lot in there.
That's the bit that I was thinking, oh, I wasn't expecting to see that deeper section, and that deeper section looks dry. It doesn't look as soft as that initial front section, but...
Oh, it's a chewing gum.
Yeah, it's that sticky, chewing gummy, kind of toffee consistency, this one. Not so bad if it comes away from the canal wall, I find. If you get that lovely pink sheen to the canal wall there, you've got to be careful with these narrow canals. It's exactly, just put the suction tube in. As I put it in, we could see the canal almost try and collapse around the suction. So you kind of move that suction tube as quick as you can to create the gap. Otherwise, you end up with a vacuum in the ear canal, which is not particularly pleasant.
No.
So I've got this very, very thick, sticky plug at this point. So I'm just going to start taking some of the edges. There we go.
Yeah, you generally tend to find you got to kind of attack these early with oil, haven't you? Normally, these like gluey, kind of sticky ones. And
it's always, I don't want you to find the same, but when you've got a narrow canal like this, you think, oh yeah, oil, that's going to get in there and you'll loosen. But then you think about that very narrow entrance, and as soon as you put the endoscope in, boom, you lose your visual straight away. It's not the easiest of things to do. So you can see I've got this flap of skin here to the, we just tried to shove it out the way. You can see me moving across the left-hand side, just out the way. So we get to this back section, but this is solidly stuck in here, this back section. Yeah. Don't forget, guys, there are 3 patients, if you're watching this on YouTube, coming up in this one. If you're watching it on Instagram or TikTok, you'll have 3 separate short videos coming up as well. But you can see on this one, we're just lifting from the edges here, just trying to get that plug to move forwards. Look how narrow that is. Really narrow. So we are literally holding the side of the... This is what I mean about the olive oil. Do you see what happened? It's you know, I put some in just to try and soften things up, but you can see, because I've got to hold that canal open on the one side, as soon as you put it in, that oil just blurs the camera. That's a nice view there, in fairness.
It says the oil is just to try and get around the sides of that plug, just so that should slide and come away a bit easier, basically.
And when you get that kind of that chewing gummy kind of wax we were talking about earlier, that wax naturally wants to stick to the canal all the way down. So if you don't line the canal with a bit of olive oil, you get this plug moving and suddenly it sticks again, and then you're down to unstick it. Yeah, it's kind of turned a little bit now. You can see just how thick that plug was down near the eardrum. Now, the patient was really struggling with their hearing. I mean, like, you know, getting quite distraught about the fact they were really struggling with his hearing. And as soon as I got that moving, oh my goodness, the relief, you could just see it just wash over this teenager's face. They just look so much happier. And oh my goodness, I can hear. And I was going like, you know, at this point, you're like, yeah, you can. I've still got to get it out, and it might come and go as we move it down the canal. But you know, we'll definitely give this a good go at getting this out. It's whether I can get it out of the canal.
You need a third hand to
you do at this
hold
point.
the ear open.
Yeah, could do like a little robotic one that comes over the top, just to hold the top of the ear.
Go gadget.
Go gadget, third hand. But the eardrum looks nice and healthy. You can see there. I've just popped the suction tube in. I see a little bit of a flap of dry skin there, so we're just gonna try and lift. I'm not too worried about it. If I can get it off, great. If it stays there, I'll just tell the patient to use a bit of olive oil. Yeah. They were so over the moon though to get that out.
Oh, I can imagine.
They were really impressed. We've actually got quite a few pediatric ones coming up over the next couple of weeks. It was half term here in the UK last week, so we had a lot of peds come. Well, I had a lot of peds coming through. So you will have those coming up in the videos as well. So that's the one side, and then we take a look at the other side, and we're like, oh my goodness. Now, You can see this one's been oiled as well.
Yeah.
I don't think this one is quite as bad as, there you go, oil straight away. It's just, it's frustrating because you kind of, it just skews your view just ever so slightly, but it come away nicely, that one section.
Just camera kind of looks like you've had a good drink.
Yeah, you just got that kind of, ooh, I've really got to look to it. So we're pulling this away now. There we go. Ooh, that's concertina. It's all kind of, it's all almost imploding into the suction tube as we go along, but it's these bigger flaps of skin now. We go left and right, and you can see lifting at the bottom. It's got that sort of rippled effect to that bottom there, and that's because there's a flap of skin's lifted up in front of that bottom section.
Oh, you can see it's coming.
Yeah. There you go. You can see that come away. I think what happened at that point, I got a grip on it, and as I lifted, the one side sheared off and it flicked into the suction tube, and there was a little bit of clarinetting, and I think that's what happened at that point.
That's what caused the patient to flinch a little bit.
Just a little bit. So we're just going to pull this section down. Similar story on this side, narrow canal again. It's nearly, let's give this a little bit more persuasion to come out. It just gets a little bit stuck. Now at this point, if it was a wider canal, I'd go in with something like a rye curette, Jobson horn, something along those kind of lines. But when it's narrow like this, is always difficult to get a curettage tool in there, because a lot of the time you'll end up pushing this plug back in rather than getting behind the plug.
Or squishing it everywhere
and it just makes
re-sticking
it worse to get out, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a nightmare.
So I'm trying to break it down at the entrance of the canal. So you'll see I'm constantly rolling, constantly moving this around, flicking back and forth.
Come on, nearly there. Go on.
Move. And at this point, the patient, you started to hear better. And this is why I always say to the patient, as the wax is coming out, look, the hearing might come and go a little bit. That's perfectly normal. Don't panic. You've not gone deaf. It's just a way, blocking the canal up. And this is what I was explaining to this patient as we were going through. There you go. Look at that.
Ooh, yeah, a little bit of inflammation.
A little bit, yeah. You can see where those blood vessels come to the surface there. So we have 3/4 of an inch.
1 3/4 centimeters, I would say there. Just over there, 1.5. Coming up in this video, guys, we have some very bad surfers here, which is a really interesting, it's a really short one, but it's a really, really interesting one. I haven't actually seen a case like this in a long time. The kind, it's not always cold water with this patient, but they have a history of diving. There's a lot of cold water activity, like open water, seawater, and a bit of wind as well. Now look at this. Whoa. This is, it's looking a bit crazy in there. So the sort of medical term is exostosis there. Now, you can see a very, very small portion of the eardrum. Now, this is, kind of on the cusp of, referring the patient to get these looked at. But patient's actually not in any discomfort at all. The hearing, they said the hearing is absolutely fine at the moment. But we generally do tend to refer for this exostosis when it does occlude the eardrum and becomes uncomfortable. So yeah, really, really interesting one there. That was probably one of the worst ones I've seen in a long time, to be fair.
That's 1/2 inch there.
And a centimeter. Coming up in this video, guys, we've got a lot of dry skin.
Ooh, another one. Another one.
We're on a lot of skin lately. I'm getting a lot of skin coming through.
I am, but you know what I'm missing? I haven't had a skin ribbon. I haven't had a good skin ribbon in ages.
That's true.
I love a good skin ribbon.
I did have one a little while ago, but as it was coming out, it was like breaking apart a little bit.
Oh, no. Well, Claire, because Claire doesn't post to other videos. Sorry, guys, we've got off topic. Claire doesn't post up for these videos yet. And she said to me, I had this ribbon of skin came out. She said it was about this long. I was like, oh, please tell me you got it on video. And she was like, no, I said, well, you can't really see it. It's not good enough for YouTube. She said it.
So yeah, this is you can see it. It looked really soft to start with, and I thought, I'll try the suction first just to see how it's moving. You can see it's not really fully blocked. It was just a sheet basically that was covering up the ear canal. You'd be surprised how much of a difference that can cause a patient, especially if there's a hearing loss already there. So we've managed to shear away some of this kind of dry skin here. Again, this is the We say it every single time.
It's the right curette.
It is the right curette.
It's the right curette.
Which is the right curette.
Thanks to the viewers on YouTube and tell me what it was called. And Neil did put a post up the other day saying we'd done good use of the right curette and right hook and right pick. I thought it was called a right pick.
There we are.
It's called a right pick. There you go. So Neil did comment the other day.
So yeah, we're just working our way slowly. I've opted to stick with the curette, the curettage here. Just coming away quite nicely, to be fair. Patient's already hearing a lot better. I don't really want to go in there, you know, risking it clarinetting, which generally is what these little thin pieces of skin tend to do, especially if they're still attached. But yeah, looking nice and healthy. Very similar on this side, but the patient wasn't having any issues, and you can see why. I'm trying to get a little feel beyond there. You can see the eardrum, so there's no gap. So I've kind of flipped the stick around, flipped the.
So we're on the right hook now.
Yeah. So the reason I said that is because these are like double-sided. So the one end has the Jobson horn looking sort of tool, and this one has the hook. Hook.
The one end is the right curette, and the other end is the right hook.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm done. I'm gonna blame it on my illness.
That was 2 weeks ago. Now.
That was 2 weeks ago.
I can't keep blaming you cold now. That's it.
Done now. Thanks for your nice messages as well, guys. I have seen some of your messages. Yeah, we welcome
you were
back.
Missed.
And
you in fairness, the guys missed you. The guys did miss you a lot.
I was rough. I was really rough.
You didn't look too well. That's seriously, man. Fair play.
Colour had gone.
Yeah.
Shakes, cold, sweating, and everything. I was rough, really rough at it. Anyway, we're almost done. It's coming away really, really nicely. Eardrums looking lovely and clear. Patient was talking to me a little bit there, so that's why I was kind of going all over the shop. Yeah, it's not really much there, to be honest. Well, we got 2.5 centimeters.
Bang on an inch. There we are, guys. Well, guys, thanks for watching our video again today. If you do enjoy the videos, don't forget you can always like, heart, share, follow, and subscribe for us. If you thoroughly enjoy the videos, you can also consider becoming members of the channel as well. That way, then you get to see even more videos every single week. But for the time being, guys, take care of yourselves.
Take care of your ears.
And take care of one another. We shall see members for your videos tomorrow, but we shall see subscribers again then on Wednesday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.